everybody. Welcome to Paranormal Nation Radio. Not so normal. We're here each and every Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday night. Yeah, I about lost track of time.
Yeah, we think it's Tuesday, but
Yeah.
in the matter of time, what is time?
It's just what we have to put up with, and there's not enough hours in the day to do it.
If
We
there
know
were more
that.
hours in the day, would we want to do all that shit anyway?
No,
Probably not. We'd still
no.
procrastinate and put it off till tomorrow.
I put in enough hours up here at this restaurant. No, there's. I don't want more hours in the day.
Well, it's like I said, I work from home. That means as soon as I get out of bed, I walk from right over there to right here, and I'm working.
Hello, Wild Bill.
The bad part about all of it is that when you work from home, you never get away from it.
No, you
And
don't.
you can just sit right back down and get done. But have you gotten your taxes done yet?
No.
I got Lauren's done and submitted. I still need to do Becca's Missouri, but I submitted both their federals. I got Tyler's almost done. He's got to find a W-2. Luckily, I'm keeping him on track with that by sending him a message every half an hour. Did you call? Did you call? Did you call? I got mine and Ron's submitted. We only had to pay $22 this year.
Wow.
Yeah, which is great. That means that I got it right for this year.
Mhm. Yeah, you did.
Because what people don't understand, yeah, you might want to get a big tax refund, but I want my money up front. I want it up front. I want it in my hot little hands, and I would much rather pay at the end of the year. And the closer I can get to $100, good. That's how it should be. You get all your money up front, and the government can't make any money off of you, and they just kind of leave you alone.
Right.
Kansas, I'm getting back $168. But Kansas taxes at 9.75%. So, hey, I'm lucky I'm getting anything back.
That's right.
But yeah, this year it's only us that had to pay anything. Tyler's going to get back a good refund. Lacey got everybody got refunds that I did taxes for, except for us. And I told Ron, I said, I'm not lying for $22.
Nope.
It's not worth it. I'm willing to pay $22. In fact, I was willing to pay up to $1,800.
Right.
But I ain't telling them that. So, but yeah, I got all the taxes done. I've got some other things to do. And let's see, what else do I have? Well, Chad, it would be great to go to Florida and not have state income tax, but I don't think I can pay extra for the house now.
Right.
But I know some of you were on here last week and knew that we had a bad roof problem. Getting that fixed and all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to get that fixed before we go to Vegas, because what happens is it's spring. Guess what we get? We get hail. A hell load of hail. So, but yeah, it's always interesting to see what all goes on this time of year. But I don't know. I just want it done before we leave.
Right.
But maybe they can do it while I'm gone, so I don't have to get a pounding migraine from beating on my roof. But I kind of want to be here too, to make sure nothing.
Now you're going to check their green cards when they show up?
Nope, I don't care. I can't do nothing about it anyway. That's the employer's job. They're supposed to e-verify all their employees. If they don't do that, they get caught. That's up to them.
I dare.
But Ashley or Crystal, be very careful when you're doing a clearing. Are you doing a cleansing or a clearing? Are you just going to clean up the spirits and let them stay, or are you clearing them out? You kind of have to make that.
They say they're cleansing.
So, and yes, I am exhausted. I either have a really bad cold or a flu. I have a fever, so technically, I guess it's the flu. So
yeah, I mean, it's going around. Everybody's change of weather from hot to cold, 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 and then hot and cold.
Well, the pollen, the juniper, the cedar, the elm, I can't believe the grass isn't pollinating yet, but it's coming up, so we're all going to have to be mowing here probably in 2 weeks. And then
Yeah, I
when I
figure
get
after this rain, we'll be mowing.
right, and then we go to Vegas, the olive trees are a problem.
Oh, I bet they are.
Yeah. So, I mean, we get oak mites here. Those cause all kinds of skin problems, but those olive trees out there, they can cause all kinds of problems with your skin, and your sinuses. And Lacey's having a hell of a time with that.
Really?
So,
Hmm.
so Chad, do you guys have problems with the mango trees with their pollen and stuff since they're just giant sumac trees? People
Okay, it
don't.
looks like our guest showed up down here. You want to
Oh,
introduce him, Denise?
well, if you guys were here about a month ago, we had on Rex Nielsen. He is a paranormal investigator and a good friend of mine. I asked him to come on to help fill some time since Ron and I sound like we've been gargling with razor blades. I thought might be nice to have somebody else that could talk. So, welcome, Rex.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, Rex.
And he also has a voice for radio as well as a beautiful face for TV.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much.
So, well, I mean, I'm full of shit, but not as much as Washington is. So,
Yeah, they're
Amen
really
to
full
that.
of it.
well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to say one political thing, and I hope it doesn't lead into 50 million others. But this morning, it was a smart ass remark. Okay, I got a smart ass remark that I made because everybody knows my first language is sarcasm, and so we're listening to the news this morning, and they're talking about fertilizer prices going up. And I said, I don't see why we're having a fertilizer problem when we got a whole shitload of it right there in Washington. I said, just inside the beltway there, we got fertilizer coming out our ears. And Ron's like, oh shit. So,
oh man.
Hey.
but it looks like the peace talks are going halfway decent, but I don't see where they should concede. I don't think the Ukrainians should secede from all this. I think that they need to keep it up. They're giving Russia a run for their
They're
money.
fighting for their country.
I know, same as we are, but our civil, I mean, look at it. It's a civil war in Russia because a lot of these people's families are Russian.
Right.
It's not like they've been broken in their own country for very long. I don't know. I just feel really bad. Rex is out of Oline, Iowa.
Oline, Iowa. Correct.
Oline. Okay, I'm close.
You are.
So he's not too far from here, and
No, not in Iowa. He's not.
no, I'm gonna let you guys talk for a minute. I'm gonna take this call.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead. So, Rex, tell people a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay. I started all out paranormal, almost 2 decades ago. I'm in my second decade now. I started it with my 2 boys. It took a lot to get us noticed. We actually got way out there and we're being very noticed. My youngest, because of one of the investigations we'd done, and it took us 4 years to get into it. After we showed the evidence, people tried to break in to this place, and it was on the National Historic Registry.
Oh my!
So he decided. He just said, "Dad, I can't do this." So he went about his way. So it was Christopher and I for quite a while, and then he decided to start a group with his girlfriend. So now it's just me. I'll never replace my 2 boys because it was always set out to be a family thing. So I'm proud of them. I mean, they're both doing great. Christopher actually just published his first book.
Oh, good. What's it called?
Wow.
It is called. I want to get it right. I know what it is, but I don't want to mess it up either.
You know what? I wrote a short story for a book, and I can't tell you the name of the book.
I'm working on mine. I kind of threw the first one out because it got real wordy, and I was trying to put too much into a first project. I wanted to be about me and the boys and the struggles that we had to go through and the crap we had to go through. I mean, I'll still talk about the incredible experiences we've done, but I want to make it more personal so people are a part of it and can actually feel what's happened and how hard it is to actually get into this. I mean, there's a lot of naysayers out there.
Yeah, there is.
There's also a lot of bullshitters too.
Yes. It's called Fear and Fascination in Edinburgh Manor.
Oh.
So it's on Amazon. I gotta throw this out there. It's on Amazon. The last event he was at, he actually sold all his copies out.
Oh, good.
And it's an amazing read. It really is. It's one of the first things that we were doing our isolation project, where we go to a location, we'd lock one member in for 3 to 5 days by yourself to investigate this place. He did Edinburgh by himself for 5 days. He was locked in there.
Oh my!
A lot
Hopefully
of things.
in the spring or the fall when it's not so hot.
It was like in between. I mean, it wasn't too hot or it wasn't too cold. And I spent the first night with him, and then the rest of the time he was there alone. And some amazing things happened, and it was a big change in his life after doing this, but it is a phenomenal read.
Now, how old was he?
When we started out, Chris would have been 16, 17, 18. But yeah, 17 or 18 when we first started out. And it was an amazing ride. I'm so proud of him for the book. And I'm not just saying, it's a good read because it's my son. It is very well written. He's very articulate, extremely.
Yeah, he is.
He's a genuine person. I mean, I've never heard my son ever be negative about anything, say negative about anybody. And again, I'm not saying it just because of my son. It's the truth. It
is true. I mean, I know
Right.
Chris. I know Chris very well, and he's a all around good guy, just like you. I mean, that speaks a lot about his parent, your parenting and his raising. So, I love the fact that Chris is part of our paranormal family.
Right.
Because he does speak the truth every time. I never doubt a word that comes out of his mouth.
Exactly. I miss him and miss doing investigations with him, but we actually want to do our see the dead end sign back here?
Yeah.
We did our dead end road trip where in 7 days we went almost 3,000 miles and went to 10 different states. And by the time we were done, went to 9 different locations. And this time we want to go down south and do New Orleans.
Oh, I want to go back to New Orleans so bad. I need some beignets. I really do. I need to check out, Kat's really good friends with Bloody Mary, and I'd like to check out some of the places off the beaten path, not the beaten. I don't want to be on the beaten path. I want to be off of that, and check out some of those places that they don't advertise.
Right. That's exactly what we're thinking too. Exactly.
There is a rum distillery there. They keep their spirits in bottles. And so I'd like to go there and see the captured spirits.
Yeah.
They have a really nice Cajun spiced rum. So it's really good.
That sounds
A
good.
friend of mine uses it to make his rum cakes here in Kansas City, Jude's Rum Cakes. He got his recipe from, he said, I need this certain rum. And he ships these rum cakes all over the world from Kansas City. I mean, he started out in a cubicle 3 from me.
Mm-hmm.
And now he has this huge business of selling rum cakes. I mean, who'd have
Oh,
thunk?
that's awesome.
Who'd have thunk that a rum cake could change your life?
Oh yeah.
So
If it's
And-
made right.
Exactly. One other thing is Denise knows it. Not a lot of people do. I'm also an artist. And I had a show over the weekend, the best show I've ever had, and I sold everything that I brought.
really, was this the same show that Matt was at?
Yes.
Okay. Because Matt called me just a little while ago. I just talked to him.
I usually do double duty. I take my art in and do my paranormal too, because the art pays for my paranormal.
Right.
Right.
And but I just went this time just to strictly sell my art, and I can't thank everybody enough out there that it was amazing. It was simply amazing.
Good. I'm glad.
And where was this event at?
Des Moines.
Oh,
at
in
the
Des Moines.
Fairgrounds, yes. Mm-hmm. I'll definitely be doing it again next year. There's no two ways about it.
Oh yeah, I definitely would.
Oh yeah. I mean, up in Iowa, about every month you can find an event going on for spirituality, metaphysical. Every weekend there's something, but at least I know every month there definitely is.
Yeah,
Because-
I'm doing one the 23rd of next month in Burlington.
Okay. And I know Kelly does a bunch of events up there.
Mhm.
This is Kelly Moonspinner. She does a lot of events up there. She puts together a lot of those metaphysical events. And that's Rex's son's
Girlfriend.
significant other.
Yes.
Right.
So, and I've had her on my show once, I think once. Might have been twice. I can't keep track. 7 years. I'm coming up on my anniversary. So it's like,
Oh, great.
Are you
It's-
thinking about going to the Haunting History Paracon down in Joplin?
Me?
Yeah.
it's the
I'd
first
like to.
weekend in October. The first,
That's the one that you and I were talking about, right?
yeah, with
Can I
Dave
say-
Glidden.
I said, hey, because I asked you, I said, hey, if they want another speaker, I said, I'll be more willing to get in there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have a problem talking. So
No.
I would like to. I really would. It just all depends. I mean, just the expense of anything anymore is just frightening.
Oh
It
yeah.
is.
Just the
I
gas alone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the gas
it's up.
alone is frightening.
I mean, when you think about it, gas is up 200%. At least very close to 200%.
And it's going up higher over the summer.
Well, what's strange is that price per barrel went down today, so hopefully. But
Yeah.
the thing is once it goes up, getting it back down is like pulling teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
But again, there's nothing's going to happen until I'm not going to get negative, but nothing's going to happen until they start listening to how we vote.
Yes.
So everybody vote. Either vote with your feet, vote with your wallet, vote.
That's right.
And when it's legal, only do it once.
Yes.
Do
Right.
it right. Do it right.
And if you're a spirit, sorry, but you can't vote this time.
Yeah,
No,
Mom,
not
stop
this
it.
one. No.
No.
Yeah,
no.
Mom, because you got to stop voting Democrat. I told her that when she was alive, but she told me I was crazy.
There's a lot of people like that. A
Uh,
lot
Well,
of
my
people.
mom was a Kennedy Democrat, and that's closer to a Republican now. So, but
Exactly.
yeah, I would much rather have I wish we had a Kennedy. I mean, that Kennedy,
Yes.
not Ted. He's a liar.
No.
We were watching something on TV the other day, and they kept showing Ted Kennedy, and I'm like, why do they keep showing him? He's a murderer. I mean, they never. I mean, I think they did prove that. I don't know, but he's just a lying sack of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's all he is.
I wish I just stopped showing it, and then hearing about the laptop being real. How many times did they go after Trump for stuff that wasn't real? And here, this is real.
Exactly.
This is tangible evidence right here. Pay attention.
Oh, I know. We showed the pictures last night on our other show and everything off the laptop. And, ooh, yeah. It was bad.
I don't want to see that. So it works out.
You don't. Because,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, any other person running for president or being president and their child has this stuff and other stuff on his computer would have been ousted real quick.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
It's just like that. We had presidents that screwed around on their spouse, or governor in Missouri screwed around on his wife. They brought his ass down. Wasn't he governor, Carl, or was he just a senator?
Who was that?
The guy that was screwing around on his wife that they
oh
off
yeah, he was governor.
Yeah, they took him down and said, "Nope, they basically impeached him and put in the
now he's trying to run for Senate, and they said no, you cannot.
I don't see why. All those people.
I don't know, but they're not going to let him. They're not going to let him run.
I don't see why.
Up. But Denise, I was telling you about my niece Sierra. She commented down there.
Hello, Sierra.
So if you see anything at her house, that's what we was talking about.
So, do you have any mediumship abilities?
Yeah, I just don't make it public.
Okay.
I don't know where to categorize myself. I don't know if I'm a clairvoyant healer. I don't want to give myself a moniker. Okay. I can see if somebody has an attachment, whether it's good or bad. I can clear them if they have a dark attachment. I can see spirits. A lot of times when it happens, I get pulled into where the spirit wants me to see where they were at, what has gone on. I don't know. It took me years to even get to believe in it, because when it's been around a long time, but when I first got into this, I was like, yeah, medium, psychics, yeah. But over the years, I've seen some very reputable people. I mean, there's a lot of people that pose out there. It can do a lot of things by word manipulation, and it's not real.
There's a lot of it is reading body language.
Yep, exactly.
Touching others. Anybody. Question your mediums. Question your psychics if you're out there and you see one. But if they're questioning you, be leery. Mm-hmm. Be really leery of one that's questioning you and trying to get more information out of you. They're going to pump you. You go for a reading, you don't tell them shit.
No.
Exactly.
Let them tell you.
Right. And when you make an appointment with one, don't give them your last name, because they can look you up. They can also take your phone number and look you up. They can find out all kinds of information.
They can find out a lot of stuff on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So you don't tell them nothing. You let them talk. And if you can, try not to show any emotion when they're talking to you, because they'll pick up on that just like that.
Yeah, same as they'll pick up on your skepticism too.
Yep.
Exactly.
So if you see a medium roll their eyes, then you know that they think you're full of shit too.
Can I have just a sec? Hun, would you bring me a water, please? Thank you.
Hun, will you bring me a water too?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm done with mine.
I heard her out there walking around.
How you doing, Rex, Carl?
Hey, good to see you,
Ron.
And everybody in chat?
Ron just got back from his walk.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do my husbandly duty and get her water. And
he's gonna take you for a walk.
I get something to drink myself.
The only reason is because the fur babies.
Did you want this
get in the back?
Just in the trash.
Thank you, Beth.
Yeah.
Give me a kiss.
Why not? We can all see you. This is a private room.
Hey, it's private.
As long as you don't get all touchy feely, we're good.
That's
That'll be later. I mean, what?
right.
Sorry, hon.
Not
Yeah.
too much on that with the broken wing.
Oh,
Oh.
Not to punch me in the face. She said, "Oh, I can take it." It'll work.
so when she's sleeping at night, she just does this, right?
I don't sleep with her right now with that. Yeah, because
That's a deadly instrument.
I've had her smack me without it on in the middle of the night. Wake up with a broken nose and a
Stop.
black eye.
Stop it.
Honey, I don't remember any of this activity last night.
Stop
You
it.
heard
Strong hand.
Just make him smell your hand. That'll take care of it. Here,
He
smell.
hasn't been on that long yet. She
Oh.
just had it put on, so
Yeah.
Oh, just think in the end, it's going to smell so bad.
it is. She'll rub it. There'll be no hair, and your arm will be about this big around.
Then you will take my strong hand.
I will. I will take your
Yeah.
strong hand. You stinker.
I'm glad she has a sense of humor. She needs one with you.
Yeah.
I need one with this though too.
Yes, I know. We need a sense of humor every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Especially
every day
this
is hard. So I'm glad seeing that you're doing good,
She is.
recovering.
Trying.
Well, just smack him around a little, make you feel better.
I know.
Use the other hand.
Yeah. Okay, it's my time to be out
All
here.
right.
Get out of here.
It's a family show. What can I say?
Yeah, she is so sweet. I met her up in Marshalltown,
Hmm.
and
She has
she's so
great
nice.
abilities, and it's nice to have her around because we validate each other when we're somewhere. And if I'm going alone, she'll say, be careful on this floor,
hmm
or be careful, anywhere I go. She's always there. Oh my gosh, I can't take
Go
this.
ahead.
Okay. Hey, Chamo.
you
But
can
anyway,
mute us.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm
I'm muting.
uh,
There we go.
Okay.
So Sierra was wanting to know, she asked me the other night if you could see any spirits around her or her house.
I
I've
see.
got to go over and investigate it anyway.
I see outside her house that there are spirits that are looking in the windows.
Now, she said she's seen one. She can see them.
hmm
Okay. She has seen one out in her backyard.
Yeah, like I said, I see that there's some spirits in her that are, like I said, outside of her house, dating back to like 1780.
What's that?
Wow.
Thank you.
What's that?
And that they're militaristic.
Okay.
So I don't know. And they
Well, I
speak.
know,
A couple of
she's
them
got
speak
one-
French.
right. She's got one in her house that has pushed her up the stairs and tried pushing her down the stairs.
So
Yeah.
Sierra,
she
you need to
knew
tell the
it.
one that's touching you that it's not okay.
Yep.
Yeah. She did that and it stopped for a while and then now it's all started up and she went through with sage and salt and
The sage may actually make it worse.
right.
Now if if the smoke is blessed, maybe you can bless your smoke, even though it's sage. You may be able to bless it. Go more closely aligned to your religion. Then I don't think you don't have any Native Americans there, so sage might be helpful for Native Americans, but it's not always great for Christians.
No.
I don't know how you feel about that,
Yeah.
Rex, but
Yeah.
I think
Black. Okay, there's what she said.
that's all. That's if these are Christian spirits, they're going to look at that as voodoo.
Yeah.
So you
Ooh.
need to go. I think you need to go more towards Christianity, holy oil, holy water, holy smoke.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, who'd have thunk?
Well,
But
we're going to set up an investigation. there,
frankincense
only
is
like-
a good one.
2 blocks away from me.
Mhm. A frankincense oil is good to have
Yes.
because it,
They in their house.
Myrrh.
yeah, it's in somebody's house.
I do know the house was probably built around 1898 to 1905.
Some of these spirits have been there longer than the house has been there.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, they look militaristic, and like I said, a couple of them speak French. So maybe they were trappers or something. Would you like to be on camera, Ron?
I don't care.
Yeah, Sierra.
You
Sierra,
see how we,
I'll get over there and see. I'll get
both feel
Gary
like
over
crap
there.
and look like crap.
Now, Chad says frankincense helps a lot.
That's what I had just said.
Actually, with it is frankincense and myrrh, both of them.
Right. And you can get it at almost any metaphysical store. You can even get it at Walmart.
Yes,
you can get frankincense oil at Walmart.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
In the essential oil section.
I just get your highest caliber gun and just start shooting all over the place. You're bound to hit them.
Yeah.
1915.
Yeah.
Where's Sierra?
1915 was her house built.
Oh.
Yeah, it's only like I said, 2 blocks away from us.
Yeah. But like I said, there's a you've got a metaphysical store somewhere. Bethany probably has one. I know Cameron has one. You should be able to find frankincense at any decent store that sells any of that
voodoo
stuff.
shop in New Orleans.
You probably can't find that there. We're talking more Christianity than voodoo.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a pretty neat little place.
Oh yeah, we were talking about New Orleans a little bit ago.
Oh,
You
were
missed
you?
that part. He's talking about.
Hey, Dara.
There's a voodoo shop in New Orleans that we like to go. That we spent
We need to call Dara.
5 or
There
6
we go.
hours
Find out
in.
how she's doing.
So
And everyone else.
uh,
Caitlin and their mama.
yeah,
1%. Who knows what?
Maybe one.
Probably kangaroo meat.
Yeah.
Sierra, just be careful. The one that's pushing you down the steps. I don't think that they're trying to hurt you, but you need to tell them just basically keep your hands off of me.
Right.
Just reiterate that should they touch you again. Tell them if they have something to say, to tell you what it is.
Yes.
I'm not saying provoke.
No.
But-
Oh, please, no.
Yeah, don't provoke. Just say, if you got something to tell me, please tell me. Be respectful, and it'll keep you safe. But still, and don't get emotional when you tell them to keep your hands off of you.
No.
Because the more emotion you get, the more you're feeding it. So,
Yeah, they scratched Andy too.
huh?
They scratched Andy too. 3 scratches down her back.
Well, again, three is probably because the 4th finger couldn't touch.
Right.
It's not. I'm not saying it's evil. I'm not, because I don't feel anything evil. I just feel like
Okay.
Somebody who's possessed.
Here's your good question.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a good question by Debbie.
What do you do if the house has been cleansed and then with a priest 4 or 5 times and it keeps coming back?
So an example of that is the Sally house.
There you
That
go.
used to happen all the time. They would get the house cleared or cleansed, and when they would cleanse it, it would work for about 3 months, and then it would come back. And the whole thing is don't cleanse, clear. There's a
Mhm.
difference. Clear. You don't want to appease the spirits that's there, because all you're going to do is piss it off. So when you're, how they always say that you're getting rid of the negativity and you're trying to keep the positive. Well, eventually that same positive spirit will come back as being negative. It's just going to be a horrible cycle. You have to get rid of it altogether. So if you're saging and you're not using sweetgrass after that, all you're doing is starting a cycle. You want to replace the negative with something positive. So that's where you need to be.
Wow.
You need to be clearing and replacing
Where,
the negative.
where
by
are you
positive.
located at, Debbie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you might want to think about a for sale sign.
And one that says my house is not haunted too.
Yeah.
I'm off track.
No, if you say it's haunted, it might bring more price. Zach Began would be looking.
Depends on where it is.
Yeah.
Juicy
if there's
tells
no
us.
good way to get there, nobody wants a haunted house. It's hard to get to. Lo and behold, the Sally house. Why it's not sold out?
Right. Well, who was going to buy it for the price they were asking?
And if it sells for anything, it'll be maybe $150,000. It's not
Right.
worth more than. I mean,
30.
technically, it's 1,200 square foot house with 3 bedrooms.
$50,000 house, right?
Yeah,
She's
it
in
might-
South Carolina.
Huh.
So
That's possible. It's something to do with the land.
it is possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very possible.
And nothing you can do on that.
Down
lease-
that way, South Carolina, I'd have her contact Dan Meadows, Chasing Wolf. They do the paranormal down there.
There you go, Debbie.
And check him out over on his shows.
Is that still on your network?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
So what do you think about what's happening with Waverly Hills?
I wish it wasn't happening. It's wrong.
Amen.
Yeah.
I,
It's
You
terribly
don't take
wrong.
from somebody who owns it. They're the,
no, I don't get it. I
I
just
don't either.
I don't know how they can do that and get away with it.
They started
Exactly.
a not for profit, and they put a board in place as opposed to keeping it as single ownership.
Right.
And so when they did that, there's a board of directors. Guess what? Just because these people own it, the board of directors is over the owners at this
Right.
point.
See, the board got in there and they got enough board members to vote them out and then kicked them out.
yeah.
And it's, on the paperwork, he owns the building.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We've been talking about it over on Things Network where we're at also over here now. And, it's terrible. They showed the case file that they went to court last time that the other side is doing, and it was that thick.
Oh my gosh.
And every time they asked them to show some proof of what they had in there, oh, we can't. Right?
Who can't they show it to? Aren't they supposed to share their evidence with the? I mean, there's supposed to be a reciprocal, but is that only in murder cases and those types of trials?
No,
I
you
thought
got
you were
to
supposed to share.
you got to share evidence on both sides, no matter what.
Yeah.
And Rex can probably talk to that because you were a deputy sheriff, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's what's going on in Waverly Hills and what they're doing to those people.
It's a scam.
It is.
It is. That's a political
See,
scam.
they're wanting that board is wanting to take it over and build it into a bunch of offices and businesses and condo and all that crap in there.
The thing is,
Well,
it's in a residential neighborhood. That doesn't
Mhm.
seem right.
Thing is, people, the
Okay,
people that
see
do
ya.
that stuff
See you
and
later.
they keep getting away with it. That's this stuff has got to stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to stop. And take them out for a ride and give them a scenic view and see what happens.
You mean you think
It's
the Ohio
terrible
River's nice this
when
time of
you
year?
own the place and you can't even step foot on it.
Exactly.
That's not right.
Because
Mm-mm.
I was there just last June,
Yeah.
and the new owners and the people that we met were amazing. I mean, what they're doing to it and keeping it, because one end they've got windows in it to stop the decay of the inside of the building because of the weather.
Right.
And I mean, it was phenomenal being there, and the people were great. And then this comes out of the blue, and I'm telling everybody, it was on my bucket list.
Mhm.
I had to get in there, and I was thankful I got in there when I did. And now I've told everybody, and I've because the first thing I asked, well, what's it like? How is it? And I said, well, watching a documentary on TV, it's big, but when you're standing in front of it, is one of those oh shit moments.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You look little, huh?
Yes, it did. Very much so. And now it just makes me sick to my stomach to think that this is happening.
Right.
And basically, there's not a damn thing we can do.
Right.
other
So,
than fight it in court and hopefully a
and hopefully
judge
some people
goes
learn
by
from
the
this.
law, not by these board members that are high
Well,
society
hopefully,
doctors and lawyers and all this crap.
Yep.
hopefully it's not a paid off judge they go before either.
Exactly.
And Kentucky is, I mean,
That's-
let's be honest, Kentucky is a good old boy state.
Yep.
Yep.
It is.
And I
It
know
is.
that for a fact. My mom used to work in the law business down there. And it's a good old boy state. And just like Louisiana, you're not,
Yeah.
whatever happens behind closed doors, you may never know. But again, the Ohio River's not that far away. I'm just saying.
Yep. And
But hopefully these other locations learn a lesson from this. Do not make your business a not-for-profit and put a board over it.
yep.
No.
You keep it your own. And now if you're making it a not-for-profit, don't have a board. I mean, keep the
Well,
ownership.
isn't this also something like the Historical Society board and all that with it too, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah, that they brought in there and
Yep.
created. He was on it until, both of them were on it until they got voted off of it.
Right.
Yeah.
They were living inside Waverly Hills and
Mhm.
were evicted out of the building and off the property. See that
I don't know if that was legal for them to be sleeping there anyway.
they had made a place in
Wow.
there for their house. They were in a camper for a long
Oh.
time,
Mhm.
Yeah.
working on it and spending money. And all he was doing when the investigators come there and pay their money to investigate it, he'd use that money to start fixing the place up.
Yep.
Right.
They're griping about the money he spent at Sam's Club. Well, if you know anything about Waverly Hills, when you go in there, there's a concession stand, food and water and everything, equipment that you can
Mhm.
purchase and everything. They're complaining about all that.
Did they also complain about the fact that they have a haunted house there every year from the end of August to the end of October?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's making money hand over fist for people where they do an actual haunted house. You can do the haunted house part, or you can do a tour.
Yep.
Right.
And they're making money hand over fist on that. But to make money, you have to spend money.
Exactly.
And if
And-
you're going to fix up a big building like that, it's going to take a lot of money.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it's going to take a lot of time.
You go
But the
here and there and get the best deal you can.
But that historical society wanted nothing to do with it until they got it up to some sort of code.
Right.
Right. Where
They
they could
waited
open it
until
up
they
to the
got-
public
I got
and they
so much
went,
work done.
now we can do it. But
And
yeah,
everybody
they're
was
wanting
wanting to
put,
help. That was the thing. Everybody's going, I can volunteer my time. Well, yeah, you can volunteer your time, but no, I'm not handing over any of this ownership to anybody.
Right.
And that's what people need
And
to
if-
understand.
And if you want to
business
find
advice,
out
ask me,
more
I'll tell
about
you.
it, if you want to find out more about it, go to savewaverlyhills.com
Yes, please.
and everything. If you feel you can donate to help them with this fight,
The legal expenses.
yeah,
Yeah.
the legal expenses and everything.
And so where are they living now? Since they got kicked out of their home. Are they
I think they're in their camper at a campground nearby.
there are
I
a lot
think.
of those in that area.
I think. I may be wrong.
So, and this winter's been horrible. I mean, they just got snow yesterday in parts of Kentucky.
Yeah, last
Right.
week.
So,
Yeah.
and well,
Chad
they
Yeah,
got-
I saw that run across. Like snow in Louisville tonight. Wow.
Yeah. Chad just put the
thank you, Chad.
Thanks,
link
Chad.
up there.
So, guys, go out there and check out the website, and you can see some of the crap, the real bullshit these poor people are fighting
It is.
against.
It is.
They
bullshit.
are. It is so sickening. I got a couple of people that are real close on this deal that I'm trying to get on the show here, and it's sickening.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
downright sickening what a group of people that was supposed to be doing good does to the person that bought and owns the building and just stabs them in the back.
I
Right.
never could have done that to anybody.
No.
They have no morals.
Oh, I know.
They just don't.
It's
There's
just like-
there's this more and more evil in the world today than people with no morals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more and more. You see it all the time. It's kind of disgusting, but
I guess that's
I
one
don't
of the
know.
things we should all watch out for. People saying, "I'll help you. I'll help you for nothing."
Right. And it doesn't have to be paranormal
No, it's
anything. It's anywhere around.
It's just horrible.
yeah, I'm sure YouTube took their stuff off.
Yeah, YouTube
YouTube's on the side of
Waverly
evil.
Hills videos off.
Yep, Google, YouTube,
That just
That's
means that
YouTube
somebody
for you.
involved with the case
Facebook,
reported it.
Twitter,
Right.
all those
Oh yeah.
scam organizations.
I mean,
Because
if this goes through and they lose, you know what that's going to do to a lot of haunted
Paranormal.
Well, look at all the
paranormal
money they're
things.
out.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do. They're just going to try and outspend. They know they can outspend them.
oh yeah,
Mhm.
Easy.
Yep.
The government just prints their money.
Mm-hmm.
man,
Yeah.
I'm blessed and thankful I got in there, but if you're in the paranormal and there's any way to get to it, I was telling everybody, man, you got to get there,
Right.
because I would love to be able to go back and spend more time. I didn't get a whole lot of time in there, but what an amazing place it is.
Now
Amazing.
you went when Ernie was still there, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. They say now it's a completely different feeling in there. Completely different. Because the spirits aren't liking what's going on.
Oh, I can imagine not.
They know too.
Man.
Yeah, Chad, it's ridiculous.
It's just wrong. So apparently this historical society took some really bad advice from somebody on their board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody that's looking at this.
Oh yeah. Somebody on that board needs to have a few accidents, and this will stop.
Mm-hmm.
That's what puts an end to this stuff.
Because,
you hate to do it that way, but sometimes you have to.
the board has already made it clear
can't-
they want to build offices
sweet
in there,
talk everybody.
condos in there, and all this and that. So, yeah.
That's,
Where did they get this idea from? The Linda Vista Hospital project out in Linda Vista, California?
It depends on who's that board. If there's a developer on that board,
oh yeah,
you know where the idea came from.
exactly.
He's looking
Well-
at this big building that's in decent shape for as old
Are
as
you really
it
thinking
is.
they're going to change the building, or that they might want to tear the building down because the land?
Oh no, they won't
So
tear the
important.
building
No.
down.
No.
Because it's on the historical register at this point.
Right.
And I don't understand, being on the historic registry, how they would just want to go in and gut it and put stupid crap in there.
Yeah,
no,
because
that you can't do that legally
No.
on a.
well,
on a,
actually, yes, you can do it legally. You just can't get any government funding for that.
Right.
oh,
Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you can take any historic. So the Glick Mansion, it's on the historical register and all that stuff. But if they want to change
Birdseed.
the way that it is, they can do that. But they may just remove the building from the historical register. That's all.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, it
And
sucks. That you have to
that
pay
may
to-
be what their intentions are, is to take it off the registry, and then they can build anything they want in there.
right, and then they, like I said, they can tear the building down if they wanted to.
Yeah.
The
But I
thing
tell you
is-
what-
That would cost them some money right there.
but,
Well,
but
yeah.
it's not, they're in for a whole world of difference. I mean, the spirits are going to be, they're upset now already.
Oh yeah.
When they start doing this kind of stuff, they have no idea what they're getting themselves into.
It's
really
one of those
don't.
things we just don't
And
know what's going to
Payback's a
happen.
bitch.
And apparently,
Yeah.
it can last forever too.
Well, just imagine if they go building offices and condos in there. What's them people going to think when the spirits start going?
Yeah, start
You did the
scratching the hell
wrong
out of them,
thing.
picking them, and
I have a story about that.
Please do.
The Croak Patterson house in Denver.
Okay.
It's a beautiful red stone house. It's now a bed and breakfast. Finally, it took them years. Every time they would go in there, they were trying to build some offices in there, and they would leave at night and they would come back in the morning, and everything they did the day before would be stacked up on by the wall. taken back down. Okay, this went on.
Have you heard of this?
This went on for like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Got tired of it, so they brought in a security company that had Dobermans. They locked the Dobermans in the building. He came back the next day, and the Dobermans had jumped out the window and killed themselves.
Oh crap!
And this is all documented.
Yeah.
It is.
And this house was also the guy. One of the people that used to work in this house was in charge of removing the bodies from Cheeseman Park. Who broke them down, and he got $1 for each box of body parts he supposedly removed, and they found some of the body parts from Cheeseman Park under that house.
Wow.
It's a beautiful place.
It is.
But it's I can't pay $200 and some odd dollars to stay at a bed and breakfast in downtown Denver.
No.
But it is beautiful. I've been there while they were working on it the last time. Probably, what was it, 6 years ago, I guess. And beautiful place. Horrible history.
Well, that's going to be like down there in Kansas City, downtown Kansas City, where we investigated that old Trinity Hospital.
Trinity Lutheran Hospital.
Yeah, they're building condos in it. When we investigated it, they were at one end building them coming towards us.
Did they tear the building down?
No.
Oh,
they didn't tear
revamped the building.
They revamped the hospital.
Yeah.
And they made it
But
senior living.
who would want to live in a condo where all the druggies, we had to go through there with guns and clear the building out before we investigated it. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
One room,
Yeah.
one room, I set a chair in front of a door so nobody would go in there. We estimated there were over 10,000 hypodermic needles
Holy
laying in a pile. It was 3 foot tall
Damn.
and probably 5 foot in diameter. We found 2 rooms like that,
Oh my gosh.
but we got evidence like crazy out of that place.
Oh, I bet.
And I'm sitting there going, well, that's where Pastor Gary walked down that hallway where we had smelt kerosene in one little 4-foot section of the hallway. You could smell kerosene. And we was getting ready to shut down and leave, and he went down the hallway and went in a room, came out, and oh crap, I can't remember his name. He used to be with Dust to Dawn.
The one that's an empath.
Yeah,
Okay. I can't
you know who
remember
I'm
his name.
talking about.
Yeah,
He
I
went
know who
in
you're
there.
talking about.
He went in there and backed out real quick. And Gary said, what's wrong? And he goes, I don't know, but that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. So there's something in that building. So when they build these condos, can you imagine what's going to happen?
Man.
They don't think about that crap.
No.
These builders don't.
No, they don't care. It's money.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what they say, this is quoted wrong all the time, but for the love of money is the root of all evil. And people say it wrong all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
It's for the love of money.
Sebastian, that was his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of that stuff going on where they're tearing down a building that we know it's investigated and stuff like that, but they just keep redoing them and redoing them.
Yeah. Holmes Road.
Hello, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Hey, how are you?
But yeah, it's getting worse and worse. We got a few locations up around the area where I live. I'm not far from Des Moines. I'm in Gallatin, Missouri, in the middle of up here in Northwest. And up here in our little town, we got the squirrel cage. We got the squirrel cage jail up here.
Yes.
And then, of course, at the restaurant where I'm at right now, it's haunted in here. So we got several places up here.
And what's funny is I used to work for Trinity Lutheran Manor, which was a nursing home that was related to that hospital.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that hospital was amazing. You walked in the room, there was nurses' notes It looked like all the people disappeared.
They just left.
They just
Everything
left.
as is.
Everything was still there.
Yep.
You
Well,
know,
that's like-
anything of value was gone. I'll tell you that real quick.
Sure.
Where was that located at? Was that on Holmes Road?
30th and
Baltimore.
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 Thank you,
Yeah.
Andy.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see what it's showing us is there now. That's just.
What do you got planned this year, Rex?
Oh, let me see. A lot of you know, I'm also a part of Riverside, Iowa Paranormal now. And
Mhm.
so we did an event. Well, I was at the art show this weekend. So the weekend before, we did a event in Rock Island at the old YMCA,
Mhm.
which is an amazing place. I've done multiple investigations there, and it's never disappointing. It was great. The two team members, this is our second time teaming up and doing an event, was amazing. And Candy and Derek, I love you guys. They're the ones that were with me, and it went great. It was an overnight, and we sold it out, which was fantastic. But the other ones I'm going to do for sure this year with RIP. If you go to Riverside Hour Paranormal, you'll find the exact date of the events. Right off my head, I can't, but I'm going to be doing Farrar with them.
Okay.
I will be doing Edinburgh Manor, and I'm going to be doing. Oh shoot! I want to go there so bad, and I can't think of it right now. It'll come to me. What now? Oh, it's Mineral Springs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know what? You can stay in there until they open up in the morning. They told us that. We've done it. We investigated it a few years ago. 2018. I think
Thank
it
you,
was.
Michelle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2018 in June before my lung collapse and all that. And it's huge. They told us we could bring our tents and set them up inside and sleep in them as long as we were out by the time that they opened the next day. They don't open until at least 9 o'clock
Yeah,
in most places.
I've heard so much, and I'm excited. I can't wait to get there. And
Well,
Yeah, it's a
I want
cool
to tell you a
place.
secret.
Okay,
Where they say a little girl drowned, she couldn't have drowned because it was the men's pool. And that's not what I saw when I was there. They kept trying to perpetuate that this little girl drowned, and there was no word in any article about it. But yet they had all these other deaths in newspaper articles, but not this little girl, supposedly.
right.
And it's like, no, can't go there. You can't go someplace where it's a lie. So
I wouldn't put too much stock into the story.
yeah,
If you get a little
It's on
pre-tour.
April 23rd, Chad said.
what's on April 23rd?
I don't
Maybe that event.
think it's that soon. I may be wrong. Then I won't be if it's on April 23rd. I won't be going or I'll be doing a different event
Busy.
on the 23rd. If you go to Thriller Events, if anybody wants to hop on over there right quick, and it'll give the whole list.
Hey, Carl, the
Yeah.
Trinity Lutheran Hospital is up for sale. They never
Oh,
got
really?
the condos done.
Oh, they didn't. What's the price?
Between 414,000 and 712,000, dependent upon which site you believe.
Yeah.
Remax has an estimate of 414. The other one Zillow has one for 7.
Right.
Seven.
September the 18th, you'll be at Mineral Wells.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Mineral Wells.
Oh, Mineral Wells.
Now, I want to go to Mineral Wells.
I thought you said Mineral Springs. It's
Coyote
like-
Chris loved Mineral Wells, Texas.
Yeah.
And which place are
Oh,
you
you
doing there? There's two places. There's a big building,
I
a
thought you
hotel,
said-
and a little house.
I thought you were talking about Mineral Springs in Alton.
He is. Mineral Springs is in,
Oh, okay.
in October. We'll
And
be
Mineral Wells.
we
okay.
will be in Alton
right.
in October ourselves. We got a camp out there, the October 15th. So maybe it's the same weekend.
Mineral Springs, October. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Michelle, when in October? Because that maybe you guys could come and stop by McPike Mansion if it's the same weekend.
Well, you could anyway.
Yeah, you can stop
Yeah.
by there anyway. Sharon will let you look around,
Yeah.
especially if you tell her my name.
Right.
She loves me. She likes to scream my name.
Who
Oh,
don't who don't love
Who
you?
don't
Joey?
love you? Exactly.
You know what? We'll be there that week. We'll be in St. Louis,
Nope, October
October
22nd.
29th.
22nd.
Yeah, Friday night is Taylor's wedding.
It's the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was.
Call him up and change it.
I think it's October 15th. I put it in my calendar.
Oh, that we're going? Yeah, we're going out the week before for the camp out.
Yeah, and Taylor's wedding is the 22nd.
We should just do the camp out the next night.
We all made that because of schedules.
No.
I mean, and I like, you don't have time to change it at this point.
Yeah, I'd change it. I don't know, like two weekends in a row.
Yeah, Taylor's wedding is on the 21st, and the McPike campout is on the 15th.
Yeah.
So there you go. I keep everything in my calendar. If it wasn't for that calendar, I'd be toast. So, but when you guys are there, you should try to go over to McPike Mansion and
Yeah,
check it
just-
out while you're there.
Sharon will take you around.
She loves, well, if not, she'll just let you walk around and take pictures. She don't care. So, but we've been volunteers there since 2009.
Yep, just tell her you know us, and that's it. She'll have a totally different attitude.
Oh yeah, she has a really shitty attitude sometimes when people show up. Gavin Kelly one time showed up there, and she called me,
Yeah.
and she goes, "He says he knows you," and he goes, "After she talked to you, she
Yep.
was so nice."
Yep, totally different. So she's like, "Oh, come on in." Otherwise, get out.
And it made me laugh. So there's, I mean, as soon as he said my name, she
Yep.
called me on the phone.
Totally different attitude. Oh, I've seen her do it.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, we've been there when she's done that. It's like, who is this?
And I go, "It's somebody I know."
Like, oh, well, tell him to come on in. We'll give him the grand tour.
So
That'll be awesome.
it is. It's a beautiful old house, and when you're there, you can feel Coyote Chris.
Oh,
And when you're in the basement at Mineral Springs,
How about Jerome?
they don't know Jerome, but he knows Coyote Chris.
Right.
Mhm.
I know that.
So,
Mhm.
and there have been some.
No, I mean, did you?
Oh
did
yeah,
you-
Jerome.
Yeah,
Jerome likes to
figured.
mess with people when
Yeah.
he's there. He's a big joker. But at Mineral Springs, Coyote Chris liked where the spring is in the basement.
hmm
Yeah.
So you may feel him there as well.
Yeah, he was down there a lot.
He was.
Well, for Christmas, I couldn't afford to buy anybody anything. So, being the artist, I did the way I do a picture of somebody is not. I can do realism, but I don't like to.
Right.
I do my own thing. So I do what's called the negative space, and this is what I did.
Mm-hmm.
That's Coyote Chris and my son Chris.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
That
They're-
is awesome.
Thank you. They were extremely close, and when it all happened, because I made him another picture. Every time I was going to see him, I made a picture, and that picture never ever got to him.
Yeah, Chris. I still have trouble being at McPike. You know, when we went last year, it was so different. we thought it was hard going without Tiffany and then without Jerome. And now without Chris, it's like, what now? Because you figure, we never, ever investigated together.
I was lucky I got to. At Farrar, actually. With him.
So, yeah. Dara says she called about the camp out tickets one year and she told her she was too young for the camp out. And she said, I told her I was 24 and just asked Denise. So,
that's good.
So anybody who goes to her asking about a camp out now, she'll send you to me anyway, because I'm the one that's doing a camp out there this year, not Sharon. They stopped doing the camp outs because of health reasons. And, but she told us that we could do one as long as we cleaned up everything.
Keep reminding her.
Yep. I have to keep reminding her, but yeah, it's going to be fun. It's just gotten to be a habit to go to McPike in October, is what it is at this point. So just make sure you go. I think you'll love it. You won't, and go look at pictures online before you go, so that when you see it, you'll see how much work actually got done there. It's amazing. It's still condemned inside. So you still can't go inside. You can't go further than the door.
Okay.
Right.
You can go in the basement, in the wine cellar.
Floors that are missing.
Yeah, it's dangerous as hell.
Yeah.
They had, when I know people have saw it was on Ghost Adventures a bunch of years ago, back in 2019. It was actually on Ghost Adventures. They taped there in 2018.
They're mainly in the front part.
They went upstairs. They went around the building,
upstairs a little bit,
but they had to pay the city to do that. They did not pay Sharon. Sharon said they basically gave her like $1,000 for the 3 days that they were there, and but the rest of it, they're talking about. I heard that Dakota told some people that Sharon made like $5,000 off of it. She didn't make a dime, except $1,000 that she lost keeping it off. She had people that wanted to come and stay, and they couldn't because they had it. So technically, she lost money. But what she did say was that they fed her and her family every time they brought food in. They fed her family, included them in every meal that they had on the property, and left her a tent.
Yeah.
And I was so glad they left that tent, because it was so much easier to put up than the big giant tent that we have to put up every year.
A lot easier.
We don't have to number everything. We had to number the other tent. Jerome knew how to put it together. Jerome died. We bitched at him the whole time we put that tent up the last 2 years.
Every year twice a year I would help him put that thing up, and me and John, we'd sit there and look at each other and go, well,
we'll remember this.
Yeah, we'll remember this in 6 months. And I'll be damned, in 6 months, we'd pull that box out and sit there and look at each other and go, Jerome, where do we start? And he'd done it so many times. He'd just lay all the parts out, and then, we just put it together.
Right.
You think, okay, John, you remember this, right? Yeah. We never could. And then when we had to, it was like, oh, crap.
That's when you take a picture of it.
It didn't put it together right.
We did.
We numbered it.
We
after
took a picture. We numbered it. We put colors on there. We did all kinds of things to try to remember how to do it. So you know what? Yep. I am grateful. I am 100% grateful that there is no camp out for me to have to worry about putting up this big ass tent. Yes, Igor the bat did chase him.
Yes.
It was great. It was karmic.
Igor landed on me.
Yeah.
He liked me.
Yeah. There's some bats that live at McPike. We didn't see them in the last couple of years, but they live in the basement at McPike.
That we know of.
That we know of. You can see them as you're coming out of the wine cellar. There's the ceiling is like this. And so there's a spot where it comes down, and there's this door that likes to give you concussions right there. And the bats just hang up in this little crevice up in there. And So, needless to say, there's no bugs in the basement because of the bats.
Exactly.
Hey, that's a good thing.
So, but I tell you, I love that place. And did I ever tell you? I know I told Carl this, but there is a connection between McPike Mansion and Atchison, Kansas.
Yep.
You never told me that.
So, the guy that built McPike Mansion,
Mhm.
his brother is the guy who created McPike Drugs, which happened to be in Atchison, Kansas. So he left Alton, went west, and lo and behold, that's where he built his business. Was there, and
Wow.
it's now. If you ever get stuff from a teeny tiny drugstore, everything comes from McKesson.
Mhm.
That they're the ones that it used to be McKesson McPike Drugs, and they bought out McPike, so now it's only McKesson. So it's on the historic register as well in Atchison and Kansas City, Missouri,
Mm-hmm.
both buildings. So
Well,
I
that's
thought that
just
was funny that I would find a connection between the Sally House and McPike Mansion, and it was through family.
well. Look at the connection you found between Sally House and Belisca.
Well, that one was easy. It's the same
I know.
address. I mean, how hard is that?
Yeah,
So,
but you also have a railroad that goes up that way too, from both ways.
right. Well, and then I have another. The other connection is the family one. That's the weird one.
Yeah, we need to try and get into Edinburgh this year.
Well,
Carl.
Chris wrote a book
Yeah,
Yeah.
about Edinburgh. Rex's son, Chris, you met him.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
It's worth
It just
worth the
came
money.
out?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. And he wrote me. He sent me a picture of it when he got it in, and he said, "Of course, I got a copy set aside for you, Dad." Well, then he sends me a picture of the acknowledgments in the end of the
Mhm.
book, and yeah, I was a proud dad. I bawled. I'm not gonna.
So how many copies are you buying?
I'm gonna actually. I would rather give him the money than buy it off of Amazon.
Right, right.
He still gets a good percentage of it,
Yeah.
but I would just love to give it to as many people as I can. He's an amazing kid, and it's written like a veteran author. It really is, and
Channeling his
So is he-
inner older self.
yes.
Is he coming up to Iowa? Up to where was it?
Marshalltown?
Marshalltown.
we're live in Scotland.
Hey, all right. I don't know. I
don't say
I've
bring
got
some
to
of those
get
books
hold of
with
him
him.
because his birthday's coming up April 12th. So I'll be.
Well, that's in August, but
I'll get a hold of him because I'm going to be there. Ain't no two ways about it.
yeah, well, bring some of his books. I'll buy one.
Hi, Candy. Yeah, I'm going to see if he'll let me take them and sell them because it's an excellent read, and I just actually started it, and it's what I've read so far, just the first chapters. I mean, Susie starts talking, you get you're in it. Like
Right.
you're
Yeah,
with
see, we've never been there. We haven't been there yet,
Edinburgh.
I wouldn't
and
want
that's someplace. That's where I would like to go.
I wouldn't want to read it before I went though.
I would.
I wouldn't.
Well, you wouldn't.
No, I like to
You
go
see
places
stuff anyway.
blind. I
I
like
don't.
I like going places completely blind, and then I may have seen
Then
it.
come home and read it. Yeah.
That's usually the first thing I ask. Where are the hot spots? But I'll look around other stuff too. But
Right. I mean, Chris and I'm not taking credit for anything, but we were some of the first to ever get in there when they started
right,
opening it up.
yeah.
Look at 300 hours between Chris and I that have been spent in that place, and that's a long time. And it's very personal to us as well, especially after you read the book.
Yeah.
It's got a big meaning for AOP.
Yeah.
Being able to be, I guess, on the ground floor of before everybody started going there and getting it out. It's
So has it changed
yes.
since? Is it and all for the better?
Not all of it, no.
Because I heard. Okay, so
Some people getting
here,
in and doing some
I
stuff.
heard from some previous tour guides that it wasn't taken care of well in the beginning.
In the beginning, right.
And then they got some new management. I don't know if they sold it to somebody else or what, but they said it got better.
It has, but it's not the same feeling that we got the first time we walked through the front door.
Well, you figure by then, I mean, it's still raw then. I mean, you figure the first couple years a place is open, it's raw, it's still emanating its originalness.
Yes.
And after a while, people bring their own garbage with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the demon in their pants pocket, you know, that they carry with them everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't know what other investigators are bringing with them that you can't visibly see. It's not like a mouse or a computer or equipment. It's the baggage that they bring.
Right.
Hi, Liz.
Last time I was there, or the time before, we found out that people had gone in there and tried to clear it. And number one, they didn't know what they were doing. And number two, why?
Right.
You know?
It's not your place.
Yeah. And at one point when we were in there, it just stopped. It's like turning the light switch off.
We've had that happen.
Nothing going on because the spirits that are there were feeling like the same thing was going to try to happen again, as what I believe was going on. I mean, it just went silent and cold. There was nothing.
Huh.
And you always hear, you know, when you're in there, a door slamming or footsteps, or the many times I've been there, the audible voices that you hear. And it's not just, it's like being in a room full of people. It has gotten, that's how loud it gets to you. So I'm looking forward to going back. Like I said, it's got a huge, deep meaning for, hi, Tori, for us. It's one of the places that, like I said, we spent a lot of time alone in that place. A lot of time. Because I remember one time we were going in and our buddies Creeps from Kansas City.
Yeah.
I love those guys.
Yeah, those guys are great.
I love
awesome.
Adam's little baby.
Yes. And they were just leaving there. They had been there and done an investigation. They were taking some people in there. And the wind was just howling. It was raining. So we swapped shirts and hats and stuff with them right quick.
Yeah.
And then they said, well, we're just going to leave the door open. She'll be here in a little bit anyway. So we were going up and doing a walkthrough. And this is like noon, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. It was before noon. And so we're standing up there. And as you come in, there's two rooms to the side. And we use one as a command center, because that's the only one that really has electricity and it's got little heaters in it.
Yeah.
So you don't freeze to death. And we're walking towards it, and me jokingly, because we were hungry, I said, hey, would anybody like to have a sandwich with us? We're getting hungry. Right on cue. And of course, we have no equipment going or anything. We're just walking in. From the end of the hall, we hear, I'd love a sandwich. As plain as day. And so we go hustling down there thinking, okay, maybe Adam or somebody got back in there and they're screwing around with us, but no, nothing.
Yeah, we really definitely need to set a time to go up there, Ron.
Yeah. Let me know. I'll meet you there. I'll be there.
Did
I'd
you
love
tell
to
him it's
be-
only like
Hey,
5
that'd be
minutes from your
great.
cousin's house?
No.
Yep. Ron's got a cousin that lives
Yeah, I got
about
a
5 minutes
cousin
from
need
there.
to see up there anyway.
Excellent. Yeah, because
Yeah, I don't know when we're going. It probably be, I don't know, September maybe, or
We got so much going on. We're busy all but one weekend
and we got our
in
the
October.
graveyard camp out. When do you want to do that, Carl? In the
Uh,
fall or
Well, we may be doing one in
or
May
sooner? Oh, that's right. We talked about May.
because Cheryl Lynn was wanting to come down.
Yeah, just let me know when and I'll tell her.
Yeah. I'll get it set up with Gary and
Just not the first or the second week.
right,
In May.
right. Yeah, probably the third weekend because do it before Memorial Weekend.
Yeah.
So
Our
do
wedding
that, and
anniversary's that
then
week.
we may turn around and do one in the fall too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know yet.
Carl's birthday, our wedding anniversary, and Kat's wedding anniversary are all on May 26th.
Yep.
Also, the anniversary of when we bought our house and sold our house, which is weird that the closing days would be the same day, 11 years apart. How in the hell's that happen? Our
yeah,
dog,
no doubt.
14. And our dog was born on that day. And I graduated from high
It's a
school.
good day. What can I say?
So May 26th is an important day.
Yeah.
We also met on May 26th.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rex,
Wow.
if you ever get down this way towards Cameron, Missouri,
Mhm.
I'm 20 miles away from it. We've got a cemetery that we take care of, and it's haunted.
Oh, nice.
I
That's
won't say actually bad haunted, but there's a lot down there.
Interesting.
Denise- Yeah.
Interesting haunted.
Yeah, it's
very
Yeah.
interesting.
And we that's all we did one summer. AOP just did nothing but cemeteries, and there's a lot in Old Line, and a lot of it has Civil War
Mm-hmm.
parts in it. And the big one that's down from me, it's huge. I mean, I it's like 8 or 10 football fields all put together.
Mm.
It's huge.
Right.
And they've even got an infant's graveyard in there. And
yeah.
we got some really neat stuff from everyone that we went to. And that's all we did one summer was do nothing but cemeteries.
Yeah.
Did you go
Yeah.
over to that one in Marshalltown when we were all there
Yes.
to check out the chair?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, check out the
Yeah,
chair.
there.
You know, you're gonna. You know, how do they know if you sit in this chair you're gonna
What
die?
was that town we went down in southern Kansas? We went to Neota show.
Neodesha?
Shade, whatever. Anyway, a group invited us down there, and we went out to this graveyard. But it was the back part of the.
Oh, that was not Neodesha. That was Cherryvale.
No, I said down. Yeah,
Cherryvale, Kansas.
Yeah, Cherryvale. I said the town. What was the name of that town when we went down to Neodesha?
Yeah, Cherryvale.
But yeah, the back part of the graveyard, you could see shadow figures just running back and forth like crazy, and then that's where Denise got some woman's name and then found her grave.
Well, Gary said the activity is picked up at the cemetery down there.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, when he's down there mowing, they're pushing and shoving on him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, now. And
I wonder
stuff,
why
so.
now.
He's much more open.
Yeah, he is,
Yeah,
and
maybe
that we are finding.
Then
Well, to give you an idea, Rex, in 1959, they put a gravel road right through the middle of the cemetery. They scraped up headstones and everything. We've been finding them in dirt piles. So there's graves underneath that road.
Yeah.
Poltergeist.
You're also in an area where the Indians, the cavalry, Civil War, and the Mormon Wars, Caldwell County, Missouri, where Hans Mill Massacre was at.
Wow.
Which is only 3 miles away from our cemetery. So,
wow.
And when you get out there, Denise will tell you, the only thing you're going to hear is the bugs.
And some of
That's
those
it.
bugs are big.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but they
Yeah, I don't know if Rex knew, but it was legal to hunt Mormons back then
Yeah, it was.
by the state. Yeah,
That
I know. I
and
was like, wow.
Well, see, in 1836, the state of Missouri gave Caldwell County to the Mormons out of Independence and Ray County, as long as they didn't bother the settlers that were up there. That was 1836. On October 30th, 1838, the governor issued an executive order to eradicate all Mormons out of Caldwell County.
wow, I did not
No.
know
And
that.
guess who owns the coast?
Oh, look it up. Look it up. I mean, and you know
Yeah.
what's worse? It's funny, but that law was still on the books until 1972.
Yeah.
Wow,
And you know what changed it?
I have no idea.
BYU out in Salt Lake was going to play MU in a basketball game. And BYU called the governor to ask him if he could change it because their bus would be coming through the area and they didn't want shot.
hmm
That's
Although
how it got.
nobody probably would have shot at them.
No,
Yeah.
they
But-
wouldn't have, but it was still on the books. Kit
But they
Bond
might
took it
now.
off.
Since the entire county is just about owned by the Mormons at this point.
Yeah.
And there's not a happy
Right.
feeling when you're there in the county. Just saying, from what I can tell from the people who live there and things I've heard and seen. But it's the graveyard is an interesting place. You can also look for UFOs while you're out there, and you can
hunt
also be
Bigfoot. Yeah.
so because it
Got it all.
and there's no traffic on this road.
No.
When I mean, we stayed there.
Oh,
It was almost
it's
what was
quiet.
it, 16 hours,
Yeah.
and we didn't see one car in 16 hours.
No.
No,
We
you won't.
were we was out there investigating
It's
one
hard to
night,
find.
and
I mean,
oh yeah, it is. But we was investigating, and me and Gary, Pastor Gary, both heard horses walking down the gravel road. Then me and Randy and Gary and them were out there, and me and Randy heard the horses whinnying. And we drove around the next day, 5 miles around the area, and there
Yeah.
are no horses.
Wow.
So it's
What?
quite. And my great grandfather started that cemetery.
Wow.
It's
That's-
interesting.
well, that was that our first or second time out there when we took Matt with
That was
us.
the first time.
Yeah.
First
And-
time.
Yeah, he's just standing there at where the gravel road goes in, where it curves.
Yeah.
He's looking down the hill, and I said, "Yeah, you can tell by the tree line. There's a creek or something down there."
Hmm.
And he goes, "Yeah," and he's just sitting there staring. I said, "What are you looking at?" And he looks at me, and he goes, "What? You don't see that?" I said, "The creek down there," and he goes, "No, the cavalry camping out."
There was
Oh,
a
man.
battalion.
What?
A battalion.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
And I was
I
telling
said, "Are you serious?" He goes, "Yeah, you don't see it." I said, "No."
and
Just sitting there watching them, and it was weird.
I saw some Native Americans looking at us from the trees.
Right. We've got real good pictures. The picture in the background of us right now that you see.
You got the
That
pictures?
that was taken. I'm gonna pull everybody down. Look at the screen, Rex. This was
Yeah, I was
taken
gonna
at
say you got the
cemetery.
pictures with you, I'm sure.
That was
Yeah.
taken at the cemetery.
Oh, my cheeks were.
Man. I
And I have this one. Now, if you look at the screen,
I like that one.
yeah. That one, you showed me that one too. That's
yeah,
That
that's amazing.
looks
but
like
that's all down at
a horse
the cemetery,
big time.
Cox Cemetery.
Speaking of, well, I was working a second shift with one of the younger deputies one night, and he was telling me about a state park not too far from me that a young man had hung himself in the trees back in the 70s naked. And I said, "Is it documented?" He goes, "Sure is." So I stop on the way home and I find the park ranger, and I asked him about it, and he showed me the documentation. It's all real. I said, great. Can you take me to where it's at, where it happened? He goes, absolutely. So we get down there, and one of the things that I've been really blessed with is the spirit photography and the stuff that I've caught over the years. Well, I had my cell phone. I had no IR cameras, nothing. We're down there, and there's this family around a fire, and they're, 3 sheets to the wind. They're just having a blast. And I looked at the park ranger. I said, well, I'm going to ask him if it's okay if I take some pictures. He goes, absolutely. So my rule of thumb, most people take 3. I take 5 consecutive pictures of whatever I'm going to take a picture of. So I took 5 pictures. And I'm standing there. 1 and 2 is just the family. Picture number 3, if you can see it. Whoops, let me get it.
I know nobody could ever figure out where to put it.
You
Oh,
see
wow.
The red thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's naked.
He's naked and his neck is cricked to one side.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say it looks like it's hit. Yeah.
But yet I noticed the middle part of his body is hotter than anywhere else. Sorry.
I'll leave that one alone. So, and
Only Denise.
Hey,
through it.
people's pride and joy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it looks like it's like this slunch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
like
got
you got
long hair.
hunt,
Yeah, like it.
hooked up,
Yeah.
And it's funny, the park ranger, I'm going through it, and he goes, oh, hell no. He did not take that picture. He goes, I won't say what he actually said, but he was just going, no way. He goes, I don't effing care where you go. I don't effing care what you do, but I'm not staying with you any longer. And he took off.
Yeah.
I never told the family because I sure as heck didn't want to ruin their week.
No.
But
yeah, they didn't need to be driving out of there if they were 3 sheets to the
No,
wind.
the 3 sheets under, and they're going, uh-oh.
yeah, because I come down and talk to them, and they thought they were in trouble at first. I said, no,
Yeah.
you're not in trouble. And yeah, that's again with my spirit photography. This happens 9 out of 10 times when I'm somewhere, and that one was just like I tell everybody, I didn't have any special equipment. It was just my cell phone, and that's what I caught. And
Yeah.
my rule of thumb is the 5 pictures.
Right.
I get more results with 5 than I do with 3. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to show you that's one of my favorite ones.
It's interesting anyway.
Yeah, that's a good picture.
Because
That one blown up.
I can't explain it. I mean, I put it through everything that I've got, my software.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you put it on your computer and blow it up, and you better
You blow it up even more, and you can see
more detail?
the hollow eyes, and the mouth is open, and the neck to one side.
Can you detect the facial feature of it and compare it to the actual person?
I don't know, because it looks so. How I want to say this?
Hollowed out.
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
it's a cliche. You see a lot of horror movies and supernatural movies with that wide mouth and the dark eyes.
But again, if somebody was hung,
Their mouth would be wide open.
yeah, that's how it would look. I mean, and once, if they're really truly decaying, we all know that our eyes decay faster than a lot of things.
Right.
So,
Right.
And
I don't know.
it looks like he's actually,
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Well, maybe he was only 15 years old and he's listening to his parents talk.
I ain't listening.
You know that look. You got it. You got it from your kids too.
Yes, I did.
We all did.
Hell, we probably even made that face ourselves.
You're darn right we did.
Yeah, more than once, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, one year at the camp out, I think it was October 1 at McPike. They were kind of in between groups going down there,
That was October.
and Sharon come out. I was over there with Jerome, and Sharon come over. These two ladies come by. I think Sharon knew them or something.
Yeah.
And she says, "Yeah, I can get you in there. They'll take you down." She said, "Jerome, Ron, come over here." She goes, "Can you take these ladies down in the cellar?"
What are you doing?
And I said, "Yeah." We kind of gave them a little tour around the house as we're walking back there. And we were the only 4 people in the cellar. We went in there, and the one lady, she had a cell phone. I don't know if it was hers or she just got it, but she goes, "Yeah. Her kid or somebody showed her how to put it in machine gun mode," is what she called it. Anyway, yeah. And I didn't know what she was talking about. She goes, "Yeah, I just pressed the button, and then, I just hold the phone. It just takes picture, one after another." And then she said, "Yeah, her daughter said, just, take a bunch of pictures in the cellar." And we didn't think nothing of it. So we were in there, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. And then we left. The other group was coming in for a session. And then about 15, 20 minutes later, one of the ladies is over here tapping me on the shoulder. She goes, "You were down in the cellar with us, right?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, you need to look at these pictures." So we go over there, and Jerome's over there, and his mouth is wide open. He goes, "Hey, Ron, check these out." Anyway, we're looking at all the pictures. Well, she's got one set that it starts at the door, and you can see the steps. And as it moves over, you see a chair. The chair is empty, and this is, frame by frame.
Right.
And then it goes into the second chair, and you see the chair, and then all of a sudden you see a damn black cat with green eyes sitting in this chair.
Oh, man.
I mean, clear as crap.
That's awesome.
Bright green eyes. And then it goes to the third. You see the third chair, and then you see an arm, a shoulder, and a head, and then that's where it stops. Right there. It's all dark. It's just a guy it looks like a guy wearing a hat.
Oh man.
That's where the thing stopped. And I'm looking at this, and I went, "Holy crap." I said, that's one of the best pictures I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's
so we show Sharon, and Sharon's sitting there looking. She goes, "Oh, yeah, that's Shadow." Like
we often know that.
Yeah, like Shadow. Well, the Shadow, when she bought the property, Shadow was the cat that was living down in the cellar. And she said that cat had to have been about 20 years old when it finally died.
Oh my gosh.
But she said he was a black cat with bright green eyes. And she goes, "Oh yeah, that's Shadow." She goes, "So who got the pictures?" I said, "Your friend." She goes, "Oh, that's a really good picture." And then we said, "Well, it goes further." And she looks over, she goes, and then Sandy comes over, and she's looking over her shoulder. She goes, "Wow, yeah, that does look like Shadow." And then it gets to the person. She goes, "That's Henry." She goes, that's what I see when I'm down there. That's how I know it's Henry."
Oh man,
we're like, wow. Yeah, it was a really, really good set of pictures. It was awesome.
That was the same night that Chris was doing, Coyote Chris.
Yeah.
Was doing the cellar session. And I was sitting up.
Yeah, they both sat. Sandy
here,
and Chris were both there.
Well, Sandy was already gone at this point because Chris was leading the cellar session at this point. And so he's sitting in front of me. So we're facing each other. It's total darkness. Can't see a damn thing. And he goes, "There's something here that shouldn't be here." And I'm going, "Oh, crap." And he goes, "What?" He goes, "It came with you, didn't it?" I go, "Yeah, I did." It came with me. And he goes, "What is it?" And I said, "It's somebody from the Sally house. They're really pissed at what's going on there right now. And they're here telling me what is going on at the Sally house." And they're like, "Okay." And so Chris, goes, "Well, what are you going to do about it?" I said, "I guess I got to take care of it." So basically the spirits from the Sally house would find where I was and tattle on the people there that were doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is because it was, Chris said, he goes, "This is something really dark." it's something much darker than anything that's here.
Right.
And that's how he knew that it was from the Sally house. But I told him, I said, I recognized it right away, but I wasn't saying anything because I figured there was nobody else there that would really feel it at that point, because it was there to tell me, not to make itself known to everybody. But Chris saw it, and he's like, later on, he pulled me aside and he goes, "How in the hell do you deal with that all the time?" I just do. You know?
I ask you that all the time.
I mean, it's just normal. I mean, the things that would happen.
She's, you've grown up with it.
I mean, it's been my whole life seeing stuff I can't explain. But the Sally house part was, thought it was funny that the spirits would just sit there and tell me, Tim Wood did this, or they'd go, Tim did this, and I'd go to the house the next time and find what he did. So good luck, everybody, watching the Ghost Town Terror with Tim Wood. He's a faker and a liar.
Tim Woods is something else. He would be live, so it said live at the Sally house, right? I was at the Sally house.
Yeah, at the time.
And Ron.
Yeah.
And everything. I type in the comment, "You're not live there because I'm standing in the house." Oh, he did all kinds of crap.
Oh, he was doing a live from the Sally house, and he had a helium bottle in the house.
Yep.
And they said the people that were watching said saw these balloons floating around the house.
Oh man!
And we found fishing line with the doors that open and close, and we found that.
He wasn't smart enough to take it with him.
There. Hey, Nick.
Hi, Nick.
But what was the strangest thing was he wouldn't clean this crap up.
No.
So before we could do the tours on Saturday, I would have to go around with scissors and pulling things off of walls. I mean, he would put white Velcro on the wall that matched the paint and have stuff to where it looked like it was floating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We had to throw away the helium bottle before anybody came in there. Make sure that, because the last thing you need is for fake shit to show up in a real haunted home.
Exactly.
And I mean, I don't know if you guys all remember, but ghost hunters went out to California and somebody was faking in this bar. And they caught him. I mean,
they found all of it.
It was one of the old ghost hunters way back when, like the first or second year. But yeah, the last thing you need is having people who are skeptical being in a haunted home and then finding fake.
Yeah, that house, you didn't need to fake it.
Apparently he did. It just irritated me. Yeah. And now seeing him on Ghost Town Terror, I'm like, and I told Ron, I said, you know who he reminds me of? I said, he reminds me of Ryan Buell. He talks the same, and he actually looks the same.
Sounds like he's high all the time.
And he's nasally, and he doesn't even have a cold like me. but it just really irritated me when I realized who he reminded me of. Another one that lied.
Yeah. What did he ever?
Yeah,
he came into town one time, and Denise on the phone. She gets off the phone. She goes, "Guess who that was?" And I said, "Who?" She goes, "Tim Wood. He wants us to come up and meet him tonight." And I'm like, "No way in hell." She goes, "Really?" And I went, "No. Why would I want to meet that idiot?"
No, you didn't want to associate with that.
I don't want to be associated with him.
Well, this was before we knew that he was faking stuff.
Well, I knew he's full of crap. But
I knew that there was something strange when he called me one day and spent 2 hours telling me how he found a bloody sweatshirt in the attic, and that it was Tony's, and it was from that period in time when they lived there. And it's like, how hard is it to find a sweatshirt from 1994 from Sears Roebuck Company in a thrift shop?
Exactly.
You don't even have to go. I mean, you can get one online. And how hard is it to throw some fake blood on there?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or something that's going to react to luminol.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And But yeah, he said he went up in the attic, and after this was seen, okay, Carl, you remember this. When Rhodey and them came, the house was filled with bugs because somebody had ripped the attic door off.
Yeah,
Right.
And
somebody ripped it off.
And we couldn't find that door anywhere.
Yeah, somebody took the door. I don't know what they did with it, but there is no attic.
Right there at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
You stick your head up, there's no room in there.
Right, there's not. I brought a chair out and I stood up in there
wire.
and I put a tape recorder up in there.
Yeah.
And stuff. But yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That irritated the life out of me. I mean, we spent the whole day trying to get the bugs out of that damn house.
Yeah, we
And
did.
Angie said, "Where do you think it went?" I don't know.
We looked everywhere for it, and I don't know where.
We
Somebody
checked
must have been
every
watching the
closet,
idiot.
basement, even in the big hole in the basement.
Yeah, we
Got
went
in there
everywhere.
and looked around.
Yeah, the whole place.
Out back, under the deck.
in the trash can.
Yeah.
I don't even know. And
Somebody took a souvenir.
Yep, somebody broke into the house and took it.
Yep.
So
Yeah, obviously somebody had been
Well,
watching him.
That house wasn't hard to break into anyway.
No.
no, I mean now you could probably walk right through the wall
Yeah, probably can.
from all the water damage.
And the worst thing about it, the house on the other side, the brick house, has more spirits in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can tell you why. Because that's actually
Yeah.
where the Finney family lived.
Yeah.
That's what Richard kept saying.
That's where the Pratt house was at. So it had a lot of spirits in there. But
Yeah, you should see some of the pictures.
we'd be up there investigating with somebody overnight, and they'd have a gigantic party in that Pratt.
Oh yeah.
And you could hear it perfectly well.
Oh yes. You'd be going, who said that? They did.
Yeah.
And they also had a dog that you would get loose, or they'd throw out of the house and yell, "Get out!"
Uh-huh.
And people would get EVPs of
Said,
"Get out!"
"Get out."
And I'm like,
Get out, you damn dog. Who is that?
I don't know how
They
many
call
times.
me a dog.
Yeah.
Well, I know Denise and Ron did it for several years, but I got to do it with a year up there with them, and
Yeah.
we had a blast.
Oh, we did.
The teams we met, that one team that came in, and the lady got there first, and she flew in from England.
Yeah.
She was there with San Diego
England.
Paranormal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she goes, "Oh, I'm here to meet up with the team. I flew in," and I went, "Okay."
Yeah, where'd you fly in from? She goes, England. I went,
Yeah, that was an expensive little investigation.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I'll tell you.
And then they came in from San Diego.
Right.
Yeah, they came from San
Yeah,
Diego.
to meet. Like, wow.
And then when they had their first paranormal talk show, I was their first guest.
Yep.
Which is just last year, actually.
Yeah, we met, oh God, thousands of people.
That's the
Yeah.
part I missed.
It was weird because, you know, I travel all over with my job. And there was a couple times I was in Topeka and I'd be working on my machine. I get a tap on my shoulder. I turn around and look, and I'm looking at this person. I'm like, they look familiar, but I don't know how I know them. They said, "Weren't you you're one of the tour guides at the Sally House a couple years ago?" I said, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, that's I know faces, but I don't know everybody's names, of course." But
Well, that year I was up there, we ran so many people through
Oh,
there
yeah.
in 4 hours.
yeah,
I couldn't. You're lucky if you remember 10 of them.
but you can remember their faces for some reason.
You remember the reactions. That little couple that was down in the basement, white girl and
Oh.
black guy from Africa.
Yeah,
Right? I'll remember their faces forever.
yeah, and
Because
look on their faces. When it
I
said
was
his
down there
name.
doing an Echovox session, and the basement was full. There was 15, 18 people
Yeah.
down there. And we'd ask it to say somebody's name, and it'd say, and they go, "Oh, it didn't say that. It didn't say that." This young woman and guy came down there. She looks over and goes, "It'll never say his name. He's from Africa." And I said, "Okay, can you say the gentleman over there, the black gentleman from Africa, can you say his first name?" Went 2 or 3 minutes, didn't say nothing. And I said, "Can you say his name?" And it said his name. She
Yep.
goes, "Oh my God, it'll never get his last name." And as soon as she said that,
Yep,
it spit out a name that long.
yep.
And everybody's just sitting there going, "Oh." They stayed down there for about 2 minutes, and up the stairs they went.
Oh yeah, yeah. The look on his face was And somebody goes, "Is that your name?" And the guy's like,
You can
"Yeah."
find that. It's a 30-minute video David Terron filmed for me down there.
Yep.
And everything. It's on YouTube. Look up CC Paranormal Team on YouTube, and you can find that video. And you'll see them turn to
Did
the camera.
somebody
to
film
them.
that?
Yeah, David did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
David and Sid.
Yes.
Oh, I
'Cause
didn't know you filmed
when
it.
he got when it did
Oh,
that,
wow.
I
Well,
turned
okay,
to
we got
David and I
video
said,
proof then.
"You filming that?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "I need a
Oh
copy
my gosh,
of that."
I didn't know that.
He sent me a 30-minute copy of it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we've made
Yeah,
friends at the Sally house that we still
they were there a lot.
We still, they would always come every year.
I wish somebody had filmed the Buy Bitches one, but
That would have been a good film.
oh my god, that was hilarious.
Because after when I was on last time, you used the Echo Box and it gave you my last name.
Uh-huh.
Right after we were done, because we talked for quite a while afterwards. After that was over, I ended up buying it, and I used it on the last investigation. And
Denise will tell you, she tore it apart. She tore the whole thing apart. There are no words in it.
No, there isn't. And it's just
the one they use up at the.
It's what got me on the Echo Box was I'd seen Dusted Dawn. They're the ones that helped us start our paranormal team and everything out of Kansas City. And they had Echo Box 3. Well, we was at the courthouse at Kingston, and I kept hearing stuff come out of this. And then I heard Spanish come out of it. And I'm going, wow, this is cool. So I went and bought it and everything. And I was working at the courthouse one evening, cold, damp night. Got off. It was about 7:30, dark out in December. Drove down to the cemetery just north of the courthouse where my grandfather's buried, right? Me and him were real close. And I parked right in front of his grave, stayed in the van, shut the van off, rolled the window down, had the Echo Box going with my digital recorder and stuff. And I called out by his real name, Carl Llewellyn. Nothing. And I'm sitting there going, you dummy, you've never called him that before.
Right.
So I sat there and go, Pawpaw, are you here? And a voice came on there and said, hi. I went, okay. Now I said, do you know who this is? And as soon as I said that, he goes, Butch. That was my nickname my pawpaw gave me when I was little. Wow. I took that recording to my brother and sister, older brother and sister. I said, you guys got to listen to this. I'm at Pawpaw's grave with this Echo Box that talks to the spirits. And they're going, yeah, right. I said, tell me what you hear. And I turned it on and both their mouths hit the floor. They go, that's Pawpaw's voice. Yep. And I went, exactly. From that moment on, and then Denise told me that she had tore it apart, got permission and stuff, and got it all apart.
No, I didn't get permission.
Oh, you just
if I buy the software, it's my software. I can do what I want.
I was going to say,
okay,
yeah.
But it sold it, and then met Denise and Ron, got up to Sally house, so me and Ron's down in the basement.
Yeah,
we both had Echo Box going
by accident.
By accident, we was talking, and then all of a sudden we didn't say nothing, and the two Echo Boxes were talking to each other.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
And we're sitting there going, dueling Echo Box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I was in the basement and you came down, or if you were down there and I came down with it on.
Mm-hmm.
It's just by accident that happened.
Right. But I mean, the Echo Box.
I
use it,
Japanese,
but I also use
Necrophonics.
It's another one that don't have words in it.
Yep, and the jail cell down there at Pythian Castle, we've heard it speak Japanese.
German.
We've heard it speak German.
At the
down there on the other end.
Also in Atchison.
And in Atchison at a German house.
I used it for the first time at that last investigation, and I was just blown away.
Yeah.
It's I'm going to use it a lot. But
Yeah, we
Okay.
do. It's kind of our main thing. But
Another thing I have found out is
I guess I'm used
use
to
it
it.
for a little while. Go back, set your settings up and everything up to the higher end, but alternate them, right?
uh-huh.
Use it for a little while. When you go into another room to investigate, go to your settings and move them the opposite direction.
Okay.
Okay? You're speeding up and slowing down your different banks in there.
You still have your video on YouTube, right?
Yes, you can find
Yeah.
it over on CC Paranormal Team.
How
And
it's set
everything.
up.
How
He's
to
got
set
it.
up your echo
You know,
box.
And that was funny because I was going to ask you about it when Denise said today, hey, you want to be on the show? And I was going, man, I'm going to ask him how to set it up.
Well, give me
So-
a second here. Get my
Hey,
phone.
Before we go off right quick, on a
Yeah.
personal note, some people know, some people don't. I'm going through some health problems. And in October, I'm supposed to have a knee replacement. But
Right.
because of the health problems, I never heard of it before. They don't know what's going on. I've been to specialist after specialist. They don't have a clue. I have non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver.
I've heard of that.
And my liver isn't taking the platelets in, so my spleen is taken in. My spleen is 3 times the size it's supposed to be. Nobody can tell me anything. The last expert I was at, he acted like I was making all this stuff up. And he kept saying, are you sure you're not an alcoholic? And
I mean,
I
there's a
can't.
lot of research online about it.
I've heard of that.
So I set to the last thing to do was Mineral Springs in October and get everything out of the way. And I'm supposed to have my surgery in October, but if my platelets don't come up, I can't.
Right.
You know, my platelets are at 42.
Yeah, I've heard
Ooh.
that. I forgot what they call that.
That's what they call it.
They said their liver looks like a heavy alcoholic,
Yeah.
and they don't know why.
I did some research on that because my liver enzymes aren't right.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
that's right.
and-
You were looking
So
into that.
I looked for that because of the fact that I was trying to figure out how to fix
Let me
my
turn my green screen off. You'll see it better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not wanting to show up very good on green
No.
screen. But you will see that's how I start out.
Okay.
And then I'll reverse them like
You want your reverb on.
Okay.
yeah.
I
and
like
just-
it all.
I don't turn it up very loud, and then I'll reverse them and go the opposite way
Okay.
and see if I get the same reply. That's just double checking. That's what I do.
Right.
Oh, we got 2 minutes
Me and
left.
Ron kind of do it the same way now, but
Yeah, it's real close.
yeah.
Okay.
So, Rex, where can everybody find you?
They can find me on All Out Paranormal on Facebook. On it is a picture I drew in the corner, and then you'll see Waverly Hills in the background. That they can find me there. They can find me on my regular Facebook page, just Rex Nielsen. I mean, not hard to find. Or if you want to see my art, go to Unexplainable Art on Facebook, and you can find me there as well.
Well, I'd like
Cool.
to thank you so much for coming on and
Yes.
helping
Thank you.
us not sound so horrible.
I was
And-
thrilled when you guys like, whoa, yes.
You had nothing better to do tonight anyway, right?
No.
I mean,
Except
I
for
guess you're
I'm
getting
driving
You're
storms, right?
Rex, you're welcome on here anytime you want, brother.
Thank you very much. I'm going to be on one in April. I'll have it out, but I'll be on another podcast in April.
Okay.
Good.
I'll put that out there.
So Denise, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on WBHM-DB.com almost every Monday night that we're not sick or have somebody dying. I mean, I kind of mean that sarcastically, but yeah, I mean, it's been a heck of a year so far. But my guests next week are John and Terry Walters and Bobby Adams of Primo Paranormal out of St. Louis.
Okay.
And I'm in the process of rescheduling all the other lovely people I had scheduled during last month when everything went to hell in a handbasket. So I'll see you guys then.
All righty.
Right. And you can always find us here at Paranormal Nation Radio. Not so normal a lot of times, but it's pretty normal tonight.
Yeah.
But anyway, catch us here. Check everything over on Things Network on Facebook and on Bill of Rights Network on Facebook page where all our shows are at. Again, thank everybody in the chat room for joining us.
Yes.
And
Thank you
we
very
will
much.
see you
Hey,
next
Rex.
week.
Yes.
I would look into Texas superfoods.
You should wait.
Okay.
Okay. We'll see you later.